I've seen brands burn thousands upon thousands of dollars testing ads that never even stood a chance of winning in the first place. And I get it, most people don't know what to look for when a creative flops. I'm Fraser and I run Fraggle. We're an ad creative agency that have made over 50,000 meta ads, and our work is tied to over 300 million in meta ad spend. So when something's not working, I can usually spot it pretty instantly. So I've pulled together 7 badly made ad creatives that I've seen recently so we can all learn one thing: how to never waste your ad budget on a bad creative again. We're going to skip the trial and error that most brands and creators go through and get right to the good part: making money. So let's get to the first one. I like to call it the pretty ad that simply doesn't sell. Believe it or not, when I first started in video, we actually used to make quite a lot of these ads, usually for fashion brands, basically brands that work on a campaign advertising basis. Basically, you spend tens of thousands of pounds on a campaign shoot, you fly to somewhere sunny, your photographer gets a load of awesome images, and then the video guys are stuck kind of picking off whatever they can in order to make ad creative. It's probably one of the worst ways, and this is exactly how quite a lot of big brands do it. They think of ad creative as an afterthought, so you end up with really lovely looking footage, but none of it was thought of beforehand. Within the first 3 seconds, do you even know what this ad is about? Because I certainly don't. I'm guessing by this point it's probably flip-flops. I'm guessing because they're like basically in the center of the footage, maybe? We just cut into, yeah, it's definitely flip-flops, but we just cut into a load of like scene setting images, which work great for like campaign videos because, you know, they help people understand the vibe and the mood of the collection. However, for ad creative, it just adds absolutely nothing. Like, don't get me wrong, this is like a really lovely looking image. It's a lovely looking ad, and I'm sure the cinematographer that made this was super proud. However, unfortunately, when it comes to cutting together something like this for ad creative, it just looks pants, and it doesn't do the one job that ad creative has: to sell things. And then we end on like a really low, tame CTA, which is basically just, I mean, it doesn't even tell people what to do. It's the logo and then the URL. Now that, my friends, is an ad that you should not recreate. You can make pretty ads that also convert, but you need to think about the psychology behind them and all the other bits and pieces that go into making an ad creative before you go and film. This is a mistake that a lot of fashion brands and shoe brands and that type of industry make quite a lot because, like I said, video ad creative in general is an afterthought. They're normally doing this as a photo first campaign. So if you are doing that, go onto the field with ideas of ads that you want to make. So this next ad is one that I like to say corporate loves it. This is essentially the type of ad which when you show the lead marketer, he's like, oh yeah, that's a good ad, I'm happy with this, because he's never worked in paid media in his entire life.
This is the t-shirt that everyone is talking about. People say it's better than... This is our long...
We start with possibly like the worst hook. It's like 3 seconds, and I think she's meant to say here, people say that it's better than sex, but then they blur it out and they beep it out, but her mouth is clearly not saying sex. Like, let's watch that again. Watch the lips closely.
People say it's better than... This is the t-shirt that everyone is talking about. People say it's better than... This is our long...
If there's any lip readers out there, please tell us what she's actually saying, because I'm almost 100% sure she's not actually saying sex.
Sleeve fitted t-shirt. It comes in 4 timeless colours: black, autumn khaki, cozy cream, and white. All designed to flatter every body shape. It's breathable.
So one of the reasons that I picked this is because it feels really, really lifeless. There's a number of things that she says in the script which I think just don't have any place to be there. And one of them being this. She goes through all the SKUs that they have.
And white. All designed to flatter every body shape. It's
all designed to flatter any body shape. We've only seen one body shape reflected so far, and that is that of like a pretty slim white woman. Okay, and this is a mistake that I see all the time. People say claims, but they don't back the claims up. And this is an exact, like, this is it to a point. Where she says that it's flattering for any body type, they should have shown other body types. They should have shown UGC creators of different sizes and shapes all wearing this garment so that we can see what it looks like on other people.
breathable fabric has a clean, understated look, which holds its form without ever feeling restrictive. Don't just take my word.
It just feels like they hired a video guy for the day and they just wrote all these scripts and they just sat there and just like read them all out and then just picked up little bits and put them together. Again, it feels like there was very little planning going into this ad. And now the next part would have been a perfect section for social proof, but instead they don't give us any.
Ever feeling restrictive? Don't just take my word for it. Why not try it for yourself?
Don't just take my word for it, buy it. That's what they're saying. What they should have said was, don't just take my word for it. 1,500 people have rated it 5 stars already and shown some reviews on the screen. Instead, they're just directly telling you to go and purchase it to try it out. And also, pet peeve, I'm almost 100% sure that logo isn't in the middle of the frame, which again, kind of annoying. Also, this is a big call to anyone that works in any type of production. Please hide your microphones. There is a massive DJI microphone slapped to her chest there, and it's so incredibly annoying. It looks like you're doing some product placement for a microphone company. Just hide the microphone. It's like the hallmark of like a lazy videographer or a lazy person is to have the microphone on them, but then not hide it. There's so many ways that you can hide a microphone, and either make it purposeful where you see people holding them or just hide it. They're your two options. I think overall, this is just a really lazy ad that just screams of a corporate team, which is very out of touch of how ad creative works and what actually converts on social. And this is where so many big brands go wrong, and why these smaller D2C brands that are really scrappy with their ad creative are normally doing triple the revenue. Now, here's another one that I see way too often, and it is the casting disconnect. The number one thing when you're making UGC videos that you should always bear in mind is that your ad is much more likely to convert if the person in the ad is similar to the person you want to buy it. i.e., if you're targeting 50-year-old African women and instead you are hiring a 25-year-old white woman to do the advertising, it just doesn't work. The demographic is just going to switch off the second that they see it because they don't relate. And this, I think, at first makes sense, but then he says one line that throws everything off for me. First of all, pretty bad placement of the captions here because I can't actually see like what's going on. Everything's a little bit confusing. I think overall they could have made that hook work a little bit better because I just think it's a little bit messy. But let's get on to the meat and potatoes and watch his talking to camera.
This one, you gotta check these polos out. Fresh Clean Tees polos is the only thing that I wear. These things are so comfortable. They feel—
Number one, these polos are the only thing I wear. No, they're not. And anyone watching this is going to have the same thought. Putting lines like this in your UGC just feels unbelievable, and it's something that makes UGC just not perform very well because it's clear that you're lying. I don't believe that anyone's wardrobe only consists of one type of clothing, and the fact that we're seeing him wear different SKUs walking down the same street kind of says that is true.
Feels so good. They're tight on your arms, they're tight on your chest, but they're loose on your stomach. So, you know, that dad bod, it gets tucked away real nice.
And that is the line that I absolutely hate. It tucks away your dad bod real nice. This guy does not have a dad bod. If you are a dad bod and you look like this, my goodness, this guy is in incredible shape. He does not need a t-shirt that hides his dad bod. If you look at the advertising from True Classic, they have so many videos that call out the exact same problem, but they're actually showing people with dad bods, people that want to hide their stomach. This guy has a six-pack. I can 100% guarantee that. And someone watching this, someone that wants looser fitting polos and t-shirts to hide their dad bod is going to hear him say that and have the exact same thought as me. Why? Well, because I have a dad bod, and that is exactly what I thought when I watched this.
Your arms, they're tight on your chest, but they're loose on your stomach. So, you know, that dad bod, it gets tucked away real nice. This is the style hack you need. Whether you're going golfing, you got date night with the missus.
Proof. I can see it. I can see the six-pack poking through. That guy does not have a dad bod, and it just is going to turn off so many people who are potential customers of this brand.
You're going golfing, you got date night with the missus, they have the perfect polos for you. These things are just too good.
This entire script just feels like something that was potentially written in ChatGPT. They didn't really know who was going to cast it, so they didn't write for that person. They just wrote on ChatGPT, sent the same script to a lot of creators, and kind of hoped for the best. So there's one thing you can learn from this. It's make sure your casting is relevant and spot on. The better job you can do with casting, the better your videos are going to be. So when I saw this static, the first thing that came to mind was empty. This entire static just feels empty. It feels like something a dropship shipper cracked out using a template in 10 minutes and didn't give any more thought to. And this is what you should avoid in your static ads. And this is what people think when they think about static ads. They think about these really simple, lifeless images that basically do nothing for your ad account. And as I've proven in multiple videos, that is just not the case. In fact, proof, we got this brand a 20.5 ROAS with a static ad. That is right. We had a really high ticket product that we were trying to sell, and we found statics that converted really well for them, and we made a bunch of them, and the return, 20 ROAS. Statics can work when they're well researched and they're well put together, unlike this one. The best sleep I've had in ages, Oprah. I do not believe for a second that Oprah said this, and neither does your customer. So many people write a random quote and then slap a celebrity person's name under it, and it's got to the stage that people are seeing it so often they just straight up don't believe it, even when it is true. And then we have a 5-star graphic, and again, I'm pretty sure one of these isn't in the center, either the headline or the stars. One of them isn't, so there's a bit of it looks a bit sloppy. And then our amazing call outs are breathable and comfort. That's it. No benefits, just telling you that these pillows are breathable and comfort. They've just done zero research for this at all. I'm sure there's a million reasons and benefits to the customer that these pillows bring to them, but they have decided to do none of that research and just say breathable and comfort. One random thought is they might be good for allergies, for example. We'll put that on there. That's a benefit that people are actually looking for. You might be able to buy them in different firmness levels. Again, a benefit that should be on a benefit call out ad. The actual overall design is actually pretty clean, and I do like the design, but if we replaced it with an actual quote that somebody said, along with some actual benefit call outs, this could convert pretty well. But again, it's that thing that people just want to make some ads and up their creative volume, so they end up making stuff like this. So this next ad is a founder ad, and when I watched it, I'm not going to lie, I got about 10 seconds in and I was so bored that I pretty much had to turn it off. And I'm so sorry to Mudwater for this, but you need to do a better job with the founder ads.
Here are the top 2 lies to look out for when you're shopping for your next mushroom product. The first,
for a start, we've got a pretty good hook, like the AI melt away kind of thing actually does work pretty well, and it does grab people. So that's a bonus. We've got a good hook.
To look out for when you're shopping for your next mushroom product. The first myth is around mycelium. Mudwater uses full spectrum mushrooms, meaning that we use both the fruiting body and the mycelium. And there's a reason for that. Lion's mane.
Now, do you know where I'm going with this? Maybe I'll give you a second. The man is so boring. There is zero excitement. There's nothing in his voice that makes me feel like he wants to be there. It feels like he's just reading off a teleprompter and he has no idea what he's saying. He doesn't believe in these words, and particularly with founder ads, particularly with VSL ads, anything where someone is speaking quite a lot, you need some inflection, you need some personality. That's one of the reasons why often enough in this type of ad, we don't really use AI voiceovers, because they're really difficult to get personality and emotion from. And so we normally opt for using a founder or a real voiceover.
It has amazing cognitive benefits. Lion's mane has well-researched compounds called hericenones and erinacines, support nerve growth, nerve health, and focus. This is all true. But if you're on social media, I'm sure
it just feels so boring. And then we cut to this setting of him in a dark room with a cap on, glaring kind of scarily at the camera. And it just adds together that this simply he just doesn't want to be there. And also, again, another pet hate, if you have, I can see for a start, he has the fake microphone. This microphone isn't plugged in that he's using because it's so echoey. If he was using that microphone, it would sound crystal clear like mine does right now. You can tell he's using the little clip-on microphone down there. So many questions to why this was used. And this is something that I see all the time with podcast ads particularly. People have these microphones in front of them, but they're not plugged into anything. It's insanely annoying. And I'm not going to lie, with how popular podcast videos and this format of content is, people are used to hearing good audio. And this is not good audio. You can salvage a bad video with good audio, but you can't salvage a video that has bad audio.
You'll hear that the only way to get these benefits is to consume the fruiting body.
And the crazy thing is, this is almost a 3-minute video. I do not think that I could sit here for 3 minutes and listen to this guy talk, because it's just so insanely boring, and I'm sorry.
And here's the truth. We've tested our US grown full spectrum lion's mane, which contains both the fruiting body and the mycelium, against these brands using fruiting body only extracts, and found that our mushrooms contain 6 to 7 times.
I just think the entire thing just needs a bit of life coming into it. And I feel like this script could be way better if it was presented differently. Now, are we ready for the cringiest ad that I have possibly ever seen? Let's play this one because this is, oh boy, this is bad.
Hey, it's me, Rocky. Today, my human refilled my giant water fountain. First, they cleaned the fuzzy catchers, aka the filters, cause I deserve only the freshest water, duh. Then, they topped...
This ad is so bad for so many reasons. Number one, the captions are too far at the top. It's probably not going to be in the safe zone. It's not going to crop for 4:5. So that's number one. Number two is I don't understand this really creepy voice. I'm guessing it's because of like the TikTok trend where you hear your pet's POV. So I think this is the voice effect that they were trying to emulate.
Today, my name is Winston. I'm a 9-month-old golden retriever. Ah, Mom, that's freaking embarrassing. Stop. Anyways, I usually like to find at least 5 or 6 different...
So this type of video is pretty popular in like the pet niche. We've worked with a couple of pet brands and we've actually used this exact thing. It's basically the trickster voice in CapCut and it's just funny. It's a funny voice effect and so it makes what you're saying much funnier and it's a trend. But then if you compare the actual meme to this cringe version, it's just complete polar opposites and it just makes them look out of touch. And this is one of the main problems with like trend videos. If you do the trend wrong, you kind of become the laughing stock. Like, I think it's a fun idea, like your pet giving their POV of this like water filtration system. I think it's a pretty cool idea, but I just think the way that they've done it is just super cringe.
Just water, duh. Then they topped it up with cool, clean water that tastes like heaven. It's super.
And then again, just the way that the script is, it just screams AI. They topped it off with nice, cool, fresh water that tastes like heaven. I am a robot. It just feels like something that has been spat out by an AI and they've just put it into like a voice generator and just the first draft, they just went with it. But it's concerning that this ad has been running for 25 days. So it possibly means that even though it's super cringy, people are actually buying from it. It's bad. So the TLDR with this ad is, if you're going to work on a trend, you're going to do something which is quite amusing, particularly very niche, do it properly or it just backfires. Now we're going to finish with an ad from Breeze, and usually I'm a big fan of Breeze ads. I think they do advertising very well, particularly in a very restricted space, but I think this ad, it just has zero value. So first of all, couple of things, again, talking about safe zones here, make a lime, berry, Breeze with me. We're way too close to the edges here. There are safe zones for a reason so that it works on different devices. There are a chance that this is going to get cut off on different placements and might look bad. So from watching this, from the hook, I'm guessing I'm going to be given the steps and the ingredients to make a lime, berry, Breeze. Let's see if that is actually what we get. Okay, it's 5 seconds and we haven't started yet. Okay, are we gonna say what's actually going on there? Nope, we're not. We're moving on to the next thing. Okay, what's that? No idea. Too late. What's that? No idea. Too late. Now we're gonna put in some Breeze. Okay, cool, nice. Okay, let's get that. Let's pop that in there. Couple of shots of opening it. Now we're putting that in there. Brilliant. The video's almost over. I'm getting a bit worried. Okay, berries. Great. Okay, now we're just mixing it and yeah, we're at the end of the video. We've learned absolutely nothing. This video could have been so much better just with some steps on the screen, just telling us what we do next, what ingredients we use. Videos like this do work well, particularly with a retargeting audience, because you're looking for people that may have purchased your product before or they're on the fence, and so you're giving them now ways in which they can make the most out of your product. But if you're gonna do it properly, put some context on the screen, make it more like a recipe video that you might see on Food Talk or something. Instead, we've just got this video that just kind of feels a little bit low effort and a little bit unfinished, if I'm being honest. If you're going to lead with value, make sure you deliver on the value. So those were the most common mistakes that I see on a regular basis from D2C brands spending on Meta. Some of these are super easy to spot, and now I've told you about them, you're going to be seeing them all the time. Other ones are a little more subtle, but they still could be killing your performance. And listen, if you're a D2C brand spending 70,000 or above on ads, then I would love to chat with you. There's a QR code on screen that you can scan if you're watching on your TV, or there's a link down below to fill out an application form as well. But if you're not quite there yet, don't worry. You can still take all these insights that I've given you today and run with them. Make sure that you hit subscribe for more videos like this and leave a comment as well with any questions. I try to reply to all of them. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.